How to create a campaign. It's just 3 simple steps. Before creating a campaign, ensure that you have a valid Facebook or Google ad account. Ensure that your Google or Facebook ad account is valid, not barred, and has a valid payment method attached to it. Ensure that you have a business profile and also a valid Facebook page. Then click on this campaign button. Select any of the 5 objectives. For this example, we're going to choose engagement. Now, the first step, we're going to answer a few simple questions about what we want to achieve and what is the parameters that we want the AI or Peasy to operate on. So first, select your objective, key in your campaign name. Minimum length is 10 characters. So you can key in anything as long as 10 characters or longer. Choose your campaign duration. Start date must be either today or later than today. End date, minimum end date is 4 days from start date. So if I were to choose a duration that is shorter than 4 days, if I click next, the error message will appear. So I need to choose minimum 4 days. This is because our AI need time to gather data to observe before it actually optimizes the performance of your campaign. So to enjoy the full benefit of Peasy, we recommend that you create a campaign minimum 4 to 7 days. Next, you can see there is a minimum spend. This minimum spend is dictated by Facebook and Google. Facebook and Google have a minimum spend that is dependent on your campaign duration. So the longer your campaign duration, the more you have to spend on your campaign. But bear in mind, despite the fact that we have mentioned here 569 ringgit, that doesn't mean Peasy would blindly spend this amount. Number one, Peasy will ensure you will never spend more than 570 ringgit. Number two, later on you will see, before you even start the campaign, Peasy will recommend and predict what is the result you will be able to achieve. And Peasy will cautiously spend this money based on the promised result. For example, if it promised that it can achieve up to 500 clicks, but it realized as the campaign have started that the competition for bid is very strong and it's impossible to get 500 clicks, Peasy would either slow down the spend, reduce the spend, or pause the campaign entirely so that you can achieve the KPI and the target that was predicted by the AI earlier. So right after I've answered the campaign spend, I specify my target because this is an engagement target. So target is measured by the number of engagement. If you create a click campaign, it will be measured by number of clicks that you want to achieve. If you create a conversion campaign, it will be measured by the number of conversion you want to achieve. So, and key in the target location, where your audience or where your target consumers are residing. You can select multiple locations. For example, I can select Malaysia and Indonesia. Or you can select really small micro location, for example, Damansara. Right? We recommend that you set a large location and allow Peasy and AI to fine-tune it. If you set a really small location, for example, just because the property I'm building is in Ara Damansara, so I'm only targeting Ara Damansara. The problem with that approach is that the population size or the people that fit this criteria is very small. So it's very difficult for the AI or for Peasy to expand. But if you pick a large location, for example, you pick the entire Selangor, and Peasy understand and realize later on based on the data that majority of the people who are buying are either staying in Subang, Klang and Shah Alam, subsets of Selangor, then Peasy would fine-tune and exclude other cities within Selangor. So it's easier for the AI to fine-tune than for the AI to expand. So we recommend that you set a larger location and let the AI fine-tune to smaller location. So from Selangor, Peasy might pick only Shah Alam, Subang and Klang because majority of the buyers happen to be in these three locations. It would exclude out Petaling, it would exclude out Ara Damansara. Next, once you have answered those simple questions, the AI would automatically do two things. One, it would go through your historical data, people who have interacted with your Facebook page, people who have conducted the purchase event, people in your pixel, people who have registered in your lead form, and also other users which belong to the same industry as yourself. Based on all this data, Peasy would automatically create and find the best audience for you. So in this example, you can see Peasy has already recommended that we target people with this interest and this age group, 25 to 34, living in Selangor, who have interest in entrepreneurship. Peasy has already set the bid, how much we want to pay for every single engagement, because this is an engagement campaign across all the different audiences. And the most important thing you can see that the audiences are also ranked in terms of price and probability. So this first audience here has the lowest cost of acquisition. We are only paying 26 cents for every engagement. But Peasy also realized that the maximum this audience can spend within this duration, 4 days, is only 114 ringgit. So you recommend another audience segment. But this audience segment is a lot more expensive. It's 2 ringgit and 13 cents, followed by this segment. Now you can see now there's another segment that is only 24 cents and 30 cents. Why these two segments are not ranked higher is because it believes this three audience segment has a stronger probability of purchase. So it looks at the existing customers that you have and it thinks that these people are better prospects for you compared to these two. Only because we have exhausted everyone in this channel, then we'll go for those that are lesser probability to buy, but they're also cheaper. So our AI will always recommend first based on cost of acquisition, followed by probability of conversion. Our AI is that smart. So in addition to recommending all the audience combination, interest, targeting that you don't have to do manually, it also set the bid for you. It also set how to split the budget across all the different channel, all the different audience segment. But since this is a Facebook campaign, it's only recommending Facebook. But if we are choosing a lead campaign or choosing a click campaign, it might also recommend Google and Instagram. But because this is an engagement campaign where we are trying to promote a post, so it only recommends Facebook. Along with all this recommendation, it also gives you a prediction. So even before you start spending, even before you put money in, you can already get a forecast of what is the result this campaign can achieve. So it is predicting that we can achieve about 1,357 engagement at 42 cents per engagement across 4 days. So all of this prediction is given even before you spend. So step 1, answer those simple questions. Step 2, review the recommendation and prediction. And if you like what you see, the final step involves choosing and uploading your creative. Now there are two types of creative you can use. One, you can use existing Facebook posts as a creative, or two, you can upload your own creative. Now let's just say if I choose to upload a creative because this is a engagement campaign, then what will happen is that Peasy will create this post first on Facebook, then use that post as an ad. But if I choose to use an existing post as an ad, it will just promote that post entirely. Once you have uploaded your creative into the Peasy, you have to make sure that 5 fills are completed before you can deploy the campaign. You can see right now that both these two buttons are disabled. In order for me to ensure that this button is enabled, I have to first key in the primary text. This is the normal caption that you will see at the top of your Facebook post. Enter in the description, the caption. Key in the description. It can be anything I like. Choose the call to action. So for example, over here it's, hey, why not try out Peasy? Over here I can say, Peasy, it's free forever. Click to register. And I have to make sure I select all of the target audience. And once I've done that, I can either click on the Save and Publish button, where Peasy would start creating the campaign across Facebook, Google, and Instagram. And once it's created, Facebook and Google will start charging you money for ad spend. Or if I don't think I'm ready to publish this campaign yet, I can always click this button and all of the changes that you have made in this campaign will be saved. And I can come back to this campaign later, edit it, and publish it when I'm ready.